We're all excited to dive in. Let's start off today with intentions and distractions. And the question for the day is inspired by Zepti. What's your favorite fruit?
Professor Costa.
Sorry, I'll pass to Nuggin.
Yeah. Well, intentions just mainly also sync up, see how it's going, see what I saw you solve the bonding curve stuff, so just glad to do. I want to know what it was, and so and yeah, fruit. I would say mandarins are my favorite fruit, and I'll pass to Paulo.
Thanks, Nogan. Distractions for this call, I think none. And topics, I would like to discuss the latest changes on the bonding curve. Pretty excited to hear about that. And I would like also to comment on my latest work on the test for the commons upgrade. To check the migration and doing the commons upgrade with the new bonding curve. So yeah, and favorite fruit, I will have to say apple. Apple is. I really love to have an apple for breakfast every day. So yeah, I will go with that. I'll pass it to Sam.
Bananas. I like bananas. Distractions. I am in the Gibet house. And there is a lot of people here. It's very good.
It's warm.
Yeah. Let's keep this that way. It's good. But at the same time, I am beginning to have the syndrome of being for too much and needing some privacy, let's say. And I am kind of needing for some privacy. And intentions for the call. I would like to share the new changes in the bonding curve, see which are the next steps with the commons upgrade. Always, let's see if this time we can have the last steps and just have this demo. I am sorry because it took way longer than expected, but I am more confident now that everything is kind of, all the pieces are connecting. Okay, and who is missing? Bradley, you did say a fruit?
I didn't. So intentions for the call today, go over the progress that we've made in the last week, as well as go over the timeline for now to launch. Distractions. I feel like I'm freer of distractions than I've been for a long time. I've been home for about 6 days, but I finally got some sleep, so that's good. And then favorite fruit. Favorite fruit is pineapple. A good fresh pineapple. And I will pass it to Griff.
My favorite fruit is durian. I love a good durian. I like mangoes a lot too. And my intentions for the call are to really focus on the bonding curve. I can't wait to hear the final results. Are on the edge of our seats, man. And also just like also like I'm sure you learned a lot when you're doing all the algebra behind the bonding curve, and I'd be curious to hear what you learned and all that deep math. It'd be amazing if somehow we could capture some of that somewhere so it's repeatable. I don't know if it's just like taking pictures of it and put it on GitHub or something, but it seems like some important lessons for future Commons developers, So hopefully we can capture all of that. And also want to check in on the garden and like what the latest of with Fabry is. Yeah, I mean the classics, right? And whatever's blocking the demo. And yeah, distractions, none. I just have a very full day and will not have any breaks today. So that's cool. Not until about 8 p.m. So yeah, if things get chill, I might go and try to grab food or something. And I'll pass it to Zep.
Thanks, Riff. Yeah, my intention is just to sync up, and I do not have any distraction. My favorite fruit are blackberries. I discovered them like probably a year ago, and they are my favorite. And Seb, if you want some privacy, like you can always come to the house. And yeah, I probably.
I was thinking on that.
Okay, yeah, you can come when you want. And yeah, I'll pass it back to Bradley.
Sounds good. Man, blackberries are great. We on our farm, they would just grow spontaneously, and there was no way to get rid of them. Like you'd have to go hack at them year after year. But they're delicious. But when they're in the wrong place, they're kind of a pain. So for today, we don't necessarily need to stretch this call to an hour. If we don't, Durian is unanimous. Since it sounds like we're in a pretty good place, we don't necessarily need to fill out the full hour, particularly with Griff's note. So, aside from discussing, now that we've all discussed our mutual love for Durian, I think the status updates that we're waiting on are basically just ABC. Actually, let's just start there, and then we'll move on to the other stuff, which is front end and testing.
Okay, I can start then. Let me share the screen. Actually, I was upgrading the post on the commons on the bonding curve. The main changes is that we don't need this open trading role anymore, and add collateral token, update collateral token, and remove collateral token are the same now. It's manage collateral token. All the things that I did was in relation to the document of Shokai. So I think that we are already familiar with all the comments that he had. The only thing that was kind of difficult at the end was this maths in relation to the bonding curve. So let's start on this. Let me see. I shared a link the other day. In which they had this simplified version of the bonding curve. Actually, I think that the problem that we had was to use the batch bonding curve formula, Bancor formula, was like something that was something that came from somewhere, and then we were trying to simplify that. Actually, it was not us; it was One Hive, but we didn't manage to see that there was already implementations of the Bancor bonding curve that were out there, and we just needed to look at them, right? So this article is very good in order to explain the usage of the Bancor bonding curve. I also watched the implementation of Bancor for the specific version, and it fits exactly the one that we have in the fundraising app. So it's not going to be a problem, and it's how it is in here. We have these two functions. the calculate purchase return and calculate sell return. These are a Bancor formula contract, and we are just using them as if they were black boxes. This is the formula for the buy, and sorry, yeah, this is the formula for the buy, and the opposite is exactly getting the part in which you have the amount of tokens that you are putting as collateral. You are isolating it, and it gives you exactly this other formula. So we had to make sure that this was happening all the time. And the implementation that they were doing here, let me see. It's very easy. It's they use this continuous mint here and continuous burn. And the continuous mint is just straightforward, adding the funds to the reserve after they calculate, and they subtract from the reserve after they calculate. So the calculations go first, and in both of the functions that we had in our bonding curve, the barns were going first in one place, and in the other case, the reserve was being added first. So the numbers were not matching up, and it was as simple as going backwards, see how it's made, and just change it. So the tests were not so. The tests were taking into account that these changes were made different. So now the tests look way better, because it's like we don't have to do these quirks in order to get the results that we were expecting not to be like this. Again, it's not something that we were aware of, because the bonding curve has been passing through a lot of hands, and these things, I guess, happens when you don't know all the things that the code that you are managing has to have into account. So here we are. It looks like Shokai had this good intuition, and it brings us to the intuition that, okay, the other function is also wrong, so we have to change it. And we have published it on Rinkevi and on Xday using the new hard hat plugin that Gabi made. Almost everything was straightforward, just by doing the changes that Gabi was making on the top of all the changes that we were making. So we did not have to do a lot of big changes in order to make it work. And it is fantastic that Gabi helped doing this pull request, because he has all the expertise that, if not, in order to do this migration to hard hat, it will have been a lot of work, and probably it will not be interesting enough in order to do that. So we have the curious thing is that we have all the things that Shokai was asking. We have, I think, all of them, even the most the things that were not critical or anything. So I think that we could ask Shokai if he would like to do a meeting in which we explain everything that we have been changing one by one, and just to make sure that we were understanding completely what he was trying to say. I think that after him being reviewed that and we have been working on that, we have enough eyes in order to say that it's as it should be. And of course, the tests are quite clear now that it works as it should be.
Nice.
And actually, when we are buying and then selling, the reserve goes back to zero. Almost zero. It goes to 1 because of the it loses a little bit of precision, but it's one way.
Yeah. Nice. That's great. Amazing work, man. So did we, just to confirm, did you pretty much rewrote the buy and sell parts of the contract, right?
Yes, but it's not it's just changing some of the lines, the order of the lines.
Yeah.
Actually, oops. I think that I will need somebody to take over. Meanwhile, I go to look for the charger. But here are the changes. Actually, Paulo did this first change in the. Paulo did this change in order to change the bar from place, in order to make it after the calculation, and then I also changed the order in order to do the calculation before we transfer the collateral into the reserve. So that's it. It's just making sure that the numbers have sense.
Well, amazing work, Sam. Thank you so much. I think it really needed that deep dive, and thank you so much for putting in the hours to wrap your head around this fucking wild contract. So it's really nice to know that the whole system is at least in your mind's eye, and then it can all be working together fully functionally. I think that will save us a lot of other stress. So that's great.
And it's also way more after the Shokais. I mean, right now, what we have is a way smaller contract because many of the things that were added, Shokai told us how to simplify it, let's say. So we don't have some weird things that we had in the code, and it's way more simple to understand.
Nice.
Like probably it's after that, sorry, before that it was more than 500 lines, and now it's reduced to 492.
Nice. And well, so shall we try to put together a time to meet with Sokai then?
Let's ask him. I will go upstairs in order to get the charger.
Okay.
If somebody else wants to talk about something else, and I come back now. I come back soon.
Sounds good. I'm happy to reach out to Sokai on the Discord thread that we have running.
Yeah, I think basically just throwing a doodle together for Sokai and Sem.
Okay.
I mean, and maybe, I don't know if Sem's got a busy schedule. I'm supposedly on a vacation, but I'm going to work a bunch still. But like, I'm supposed to be on a vacation next week. And this week is slammed because of it. So if it happens this week, I just wouldn't even try and just let them, figure it out. But if it happens next week, it would be cool. I might be able to swing in. I would love for Paulo also to be there too. I don't know, Paulo, if you'd be down.
Yeah, I would love to be there actually.
Yeah.
Cool.
So yeah, count me in. Well, I would also like to discuss about the demos that we were talking about last week. I was talking with Gabi regarding the Give It Garden, asking him how did they deploy their garden, the test garden, because they have like a couple of them. So Gabi just like a few days ago, he deployed a new subgraph, a staging subgraph in Xdie. So he redeployed the gardens template without the $100 restriction, so we can create as many gardens as we want. So that is super cool. I actually am using a couple of gardens with that template to do the test. So yeah, we have that, and we also have a staging subgraph that he also deployed. So yeah, big praise to Gabi for that actually. And regarding the test, well, I had a couple of problems because of the subgraph, because the subgraph went down this weekend. But
I think it's still down too, right?
no, I think it's already up.
I mean, it was down 2 hours ago for sure.
Oh, I didn't know. I just checked it like this morning, like I don't know, 8 hours ago, and it seems to be working, but I'm not sure.
We are so dependent on the graph. If the graph doesn't work, all crypto has problems.
All Xdie.
Decentralization.
Even in order to transfer funds from Xdie to mainnet, the bridge uses the graph.
Oh my god. So yeah, that's a bit scary. So yeah, because of that, I had some problems to test the test, let's say. But I'm still working on that. I started working on the migration test while waiting for them to publish the ABC changes. But now I hope to have like the full integration test, like do the commons upgrade, then do the migration, the claiming, and open the ABC, and finally do some buy and sell orders. So I still have to work on the ABC test. I hope to have it for early this week. And yeah, I will coordinate with Sam also, because I actually have some problems with adding new collateral tokens to the ABC, but I still have to look for the origin of the error. So
these are going to be so cool. I think that it's like the piece that right now is going to be the most big one to eat. So.
Yeah. And because of we have the staging subgraph as well, I think it will be a lot easier to do the user demos. So yeah, let's see if we can have it for this week, the whole test.
Nice.
And yeah, that's
amazing.
all from my side, I think.
So when you say, so we would use the staging, is that on Rinkeby?
No, it's on Xdie actually.
It is on Xdie.
So it's the same garden template, but without the $100 restriction.
Mm-hmm.
So I can share the subgraph and the front end actually, because there is like a deploy front end on Vercel that Gabi shared with me, where we can see all these test gardens on Xdie.
It is the same than the Giveth one.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, exactly. So there's like 6 of them there, like 3 of Giveth and a couple of TCs. So yeah.
We can't help ourselves but deploy gardens. They just keep coming. That's super cool. That'll be really fun and easy then. Just make sure that it's always test, TC and that I'm sure you already know this, but make sure people are gonna end up with tokens in their account, and stuff like that. So make sure it's screaming test.
Yeah. Don't worry about that. It's written tests all over the place. So yeah, there's that.
Well, that's exciting. I can't wait. I can't wait to see it. I guess next week. Maybe is this call next week is like when we can try to push, when you're going to try to push for like at least an internal demo with us or something.
My next steps are changing doing the changing the convert and doing a demo with the new bonding curve and the convert. So I think that it's something that needs to be done in parallel or before the all the demo. So I hope that I can have it tomorrow, I guess. And after that, we can have switching into making it into a gardens should not be quite difficult. Well, in regards of your timing, Paulo, what do you think?
I was thinking about. I hope I can have the test before Wednesday or so, and maybe use the time that I think we have on Thursday. I don't know if we still have the hack sessions, but I would like to share with you the whole battery of tests. So yeah, I think we can stick with the timing.
Paulo, are you talking about unit tests? Or,
yeah, I
okay.
would like to show you only at least for Thursday the unit test, the whole unit test from beginning to end.
Nice. Excellent. On the note of testing, I'll be writing. I didn't have time last week, but this week I'll write a script for user testing from the front end. Like a really clean Excel sheet with plenty of room for people to provide feedback and a very clear order of operations to make sure that we go through every case that we possibly can.
Sweet.
Actually, Vitor had some feedback on the bonding curve, on the bonding curve, and he already added some issues on it. They are not critical or anything. It's just probably some user experience issues that can be worked in the future. Also, there was some front-end issues such as the bonding curve dashboard that we had in mind some time ago. It never. It was out of the scope, but at some point it's something that can be retaken, okay, in order to have this. It doesn't depend on the bonding curve, so at the same time, we already had in mind that it had to have many phases, and the third phase was going to be very complicated. So it's better to start with the things that are hanging fruits and not doing an entire subgraph of all the operations in the bonding curve in order to have the historic data.
Totally. But one thing at a time. I mean, we're not even going to start the stats page until we get convert out and working with the whatever version of convert we can to work with the current deployment, right? Sorry. Any other comments? I was going to change the subject. Is there any comments along this thread?
I think we're ready to move on.
So how about that new gardens? Supposedly we can use die or X die or wrapped X die as the base token. I mean, I saw the screenshots from last Gardens meeting that Fabri showed, but is there anything else that we should keep in mind that we want to ask them tomorrow in the Gardens call?
I am not aware of that. I was not in the last Gardens meeting. Somebody else know something?
So Fabri said that he had it working and he showed a link, and but then now that when I try to load that link, it doesn't work. So like damn it. I don't know if it's their subgraph or what, but it is what it is. It didn't work last Thursday either. But basically, he deployed at Gardens with die on Rinkeby as the base token.
Okay. I guess that his most important contribution is in the front end part. So the point is to use this new front end for the gardens that we have in the staging template and subgraph. I don't know if he changed the subgraph or not. If he changed the subgraph as well, then we are a little bit fucked because we have to upgrade the staging subgraph. But if not, it's just taking all the pieces together and use them when we deploy the gardens. Paulo, do you have any more information on that?
They changed a couple of things on the subgraph, on the GraphQL schema. Actually, some of the things that they changed broke the ABM CRISPR as well, because a couple of the data that we pulled from the subgraph, they remove it. But I was talking with Gabi, and the idea, and I think we agree on the idea of having this the XDAI subgraph, the first version, and just create a new version for the changes that they want to add. But yeah, they did a couple of changes. I'm not sure how much they changed. I just know the things that they changed that affected the CRISPR, but nothing else. But yeah, we will have to talk with Fabri and Gabi on that.
How much affected is the CRISPR?
Well, they redeploy the old subgraph, so everything is working correctly. But they, for example, remove the last version field that we need to use in order to populate the ABN CRISPR cache. So like the last version of the apps, they remove it. Also, like they did small changes on some other fields, like renaming stuff. But they also removed the artifact field from the subgraph, like because the way they were storing the data was like taking the whole contract artifact and putting it on the subgraph. So they also removed that. So yeah. But I think the idea will be to have two versions, and so a lot of the apps on the ecosystem don't break. But yeah.
Okay. So right now, do we need to apply changes to the CRISPR in order to use the new version? Is the old version still available, or?
Yes, it's still available.
And probably it's better to switch to the new version of the subgraph.
Yeah, in regards of the ABN CRISPR, I think it's not going to take that much time to make the changes. But I don't know for the other things that we need, if, as you said, going to be a bit complicated.
And also Aragon. I mean, the idea of CRISPR is to be compatible with Aragon. So where those changes come from? It's only for one hive, or it's something that it's a kind of new version of Aragon?
No, it's on the one hive subgraph only. I actually started using the Aragon subgraph while the XDAI one was down. But yeah, it's only on the XDAI subgraph.
Okay, I think then we should stay with the Aragon subgraphs version. If we are not, I mean, if it's the CRISPR is something from Aragon, not from one hive specifically. It's not only for gardens; it's for any Aragon DAO.
I'm not sure if there are changes on the connect in the one hive connect version that we need. So I say yes, but I'm still not sure if we need if we depend on something that one hive change on the Aragon Connect repo. But I think we can use the Aragon subgraph without any problem.
So I don't understand. We have a dependency that has changed, and
yeah, and Aragon doesn't have an XDAI subgraph as well. So the one that we are using, it was deployed by one hive,
and they changed that.
Yeah, that's the main problem.
Yeah. It's important to not break the things. If there is something that Linux torvalds always say, like the number one rule: do not break the user space. Do not break the applications of the people. If you are modifying the kernel, and yeah, I think that it's important to keep with the line of Aragon in order to make it compatible to any network, not only XDAI or only gardens. So if the previous subgraph is redeployed, then it's okay. We don't have to change it.
Yeah, it's still there. The idea is that to have two versions, the XDAI 1.0 and the XDAI 2.0.
Perfect.
Yeah.
So actually, at the end, it's and what motivated the changes? It was the DAO Global Hackathon or something?
I'm not sure about that. I think a lot of the changes, I think they were for improving performance. Like, for example, having the whole contract artifact on the subgraph wasn't that good, I say. So that's why, for example, they removed that. So so right now you only have access to the hash, the IPFS hash where the artifacts are stored. So yeah, I think it's for improving performance.
Also the artifact, some of them were not available because the graph, when it was loaded, it was loading IPFS, and if it was not finding it, then it was not in the subgraph, but still available on IPFS. So it was not completely reliable. Some parts of the IPFS, only the parts from the blockchain were reliable, not the availability that was depending on IP files. So it's okay that they removed the artifact or manifest, anything that was not in the blockchain. Okay, so how do we proceed from here? The next step is having the bonding curve alone and also meet with Shokai. So this is the part of the bonding curve. And the bonding curve alone means having this front end fight for the new bonding curve and everything working as expected. In order to do that, we need the EVM first, so I hope that it works. We don't have any problem with that. And this is kind of the easy thing. Once we have this, we can just integrate Paulo's and bonding curves work together. How do you see that, Paulo? Do you think that it fits the schedule?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know when you guys want to meet with Sokai, or what are the dates that with where we are working right now.
I think that it is independent. Go ahead.
I was hoping to finish the whole integration test before the hack session on Thursday. Hopefully, I can have it for Wednesday or so. And yeah, so there's that. But I'm not sure how much it will take to prepare the demos, the ABC demo with the convert and all that.
This I can do that. So I can still finish this bonding curve part. I think that the thing that will be difficult for me is the part that you are already doing and integrate everything. So let's keep with that. I will not give a specific date, but for the bonding curve part, I think that it's going to be as soon. I mean, tomorrow. I hope that I will have it working with the front end. And so I don't want to give a date with all the integration and all the demo with the garden and the bonding curve, because I think that something is going to happen in the middle. But the bonding curve alone, I think that it's almost ready, and we can have the call with Shokai when we want.
I think having the call with Shokai early, the sooner the better, right?
Yeah.
So he can give a final look to the contract and see that everything is okay. So I will schedule a call with him, like for this week or.
Yep, I just messaged him and I brought our thread to the top, so it's all should be at the top of Discord now.
Okay.
And this is kind of going to derail maybe some of that timing you just said, but given the fact that there's a gardens call tomorrow and sadly I can't go to it, it might be worth just looking in to see what Fabri and Gabi did with our requirements for the gardens, so that then if we know what it is, like tonight, tomorrow, before their call, we can like put it on their to-do list for the week, whatever other requirements we have.
Yeah, I think that this is something. Paulo, can you?
I can take a look at the front end changes.
Yeah, I think that this is from your side. Yeah.
I'm not gonna be able to attend tomorrow's meeting. I have a dentist appointment.
Okay.
But I can give you the like a set of notes or something related to the changes, so you can discuss them, discuss the notes with them. I mean.
Well, actually, the good thing of that is that, well, if you already have you already have been working with the front end of the staging part. If you just take a look that everything is working with Fabri's changes, we are okay. If not, we can give our feedback. So I don't know if you will be able to that before the call tomorrow. You don't have to be in the call, but if you can check out that Fabri's changes are okay with us.
Yeah, I can take a look at that.
And if there is something missing, I can go to the call and just tell that.
It's on PR or branch, or where is it?
That's a good question. In the previous call, Griff was saying that there was a link.
Yeah, I put the link in the notes, and Bradley's sharing the screen. So maybe it's support new request token dash onehive.for So like, I don't know if that's a hint.
It looks like a branch.
Yeah.
It looks like a branch called support new request token.
Okay. Yeah, I'll take a look at the honeypot repo. So yeah, I think I can take a look today even.
And maybe it doesn't work anymore because it's already merged. So and the branch is deleted.
That would make sense. Well, cool. I'm glad that made it to the priority list. The other thing, this is more of just a larger scope question, but is there when we want to upgrade to include the 75% givebacks and maybe do any other changes to conviction voting, before there was something that was making it harder, and then that would be harder to upgrade, but now there's some changes that made it easier. Can you just explain those changes that made it easier?
There are not changes that, the thing is that without changing the smart contracts of the, I was supposing when I was saying that it was very difficult to change the tokens and the conviction voting, I was supposing that we would not be able to upgrade the smart contract of the conviction voting. So in order to make this change, we would have to create a new conviction voting instance and move all the things to this new instance, and that is very difficult. But now we have seen that with Right ID, it's not that difficult to change. That one garden can change the smart contracts of the. It's not all the gardens, but it's gardens is friendly with. I mean, the gardens maintainers are friendly with the idea of gardens proposing new changes. So it's something like adding a function that allows gardens to change the stake token, request token. It's something that makes life easier. We in the future want to change something, and it was something that I didn't have clear before. So I was looking for ways in order to change the template before deploying the garden. Now it's like, okay, we can, instead of doing this change now, it can be done later if we are able to upgrade the conviction voting application. Does it have sense what I said?
So we're able to upgrade the actual conviction voting application. We'll just make changes to the smart contract, and then upgrade and redeploy a new smart contract, and then upgrade it so that the proxy is pointing at the new smart contracts.
Yes, and actually we have one of the changes that I was thinking is already done. It is the new fund manager that right now it's in order for gardens to choose between Gnosis Safe and Aragon Agent. So we can use the same structure in order to do not get stuck with wrap text die and migrate to other things in the future if TC needs to. So it's something that it's not going to be. One of my worries was like maybe in 3 years from now, TC wants to switch from wrap XDAI to something else, but the contracts are made in a way that it's we need to migrate to another DAO or something, be able to change, and it's something that Gardens already include. You can change the bolt, let's say, so you can choose whatever the bolt, new version of bolt you want in order for the common pool, not for the reserve. But the augmented bonding curve already have a method in order to change the reserve, so it's something that is already possible. And for the stake token, and specifically for the 75% giveback, these things, it's something that we don't have yet. It's not in the conviction voting contract. It should not be that difficult. It's there is something that bugs me a little bit, which is if you change it, then you have conviction accrued in the proposals that is not changing. So this conviction does not leave total clean contract. You can cancel the proposals that are there, or you can. We can still do stuff. It's not the most clean thing, but we will manage to do this change. It's not something that it's going to break anything. And still it's like just changing one address for another, and it will be fine. The alternative was very difficult to do. Installing a new conviction voting and point everything to the new conviction voting. It was too difficult.
Very cool. Very cool. Okay. Well,
Okay.
that's I think that's our call, right?
Mm-hmm. So next steps. If you, Paulo, can check out the new changes in the front end, that they are what we need. I can go tomorrow and just say, hey. I was not the last. I just to be aware of what Gardens is doing, and I also would like to. There was something else that Rodri was asking me in regards of the EVM CRISPR, so I have to go anyway. So I will be tomorrow at Garden. And the bounding curve, it should be, at least we will have a demo of the bounding curve in Rinkevi or XDAI, depending on which is the preference. I would prefer Rinkevi for this Thursday.
Do we have any Rinkaby whales? Rinkaby ETH is like scarcer than real ETH. Okay, good.
I run a validator node, so 1/7 of all gas paid goes to me. They don't mine blocks, so I'm not that rich, but I can definitely toss whatever we need anywhere we need it.
Okay, guys. So let's keep it here.
I think so.